so often, the sports hangover touches on mature topics. Discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Sports Hangover. I'm Michael Benatar. That's Jeremy Garrison. Back from a long-needed break, Jeremy. You went to the doctors. I went to the emergency room. We've had a lot of issues lately. I lost the tip of my toe, and you went there for old age, I think.
Old age, I'm getting old, and I had to get a little checkout, and I'm doing much better now, so it's good.
That's good.
So your toe, you dropped something on your toe. This is pretty gruesome for people.
I might put a picture in. I mean, I shared it a lot.
I haven't seen it yet.
I showed it. I sent you the pictures. You should have seen it.
No.
I lost the tip of, something squashed it and just took off the top of my toe and my nail, and it was sewn back on, so it's okay now.
It's okay.
Yeah, it was painful, and then it'll be fine.
Okay, so what's happening now?
It was not fun. Well, we're gonna do not only happening now, but happening last week, because we missed last week, and I felt like there were so many good stories.
A lot of stories right up our alley, right?
So we were talking about Colin Kaepernick 2 or 3 weeks ago. How he was, I said he was spotted hanging out, partying places. Now, questioning, he's investigated for maybe some kind of incident in Miami. I think we didn't talk about this, right? I felt like I might have posted it on our page.
We talked about this, I think, at the very beginning of when this started happening, but it was like 2 weeks ago that this all started.
Yeah, and now he came back and said the charges made in TMZ's story and other stories I've seen are completely wrong and blah, blah, blah. He says they're all made up and he hasn't done it. But,
right.
I mean, this is what happens when you go out there. You're a celebrity and you party a lot. You have to be discreet like Gronk.
It's a tough situation. We talk about it all the time, why these athletes don't hire someone to wrangle them in and keep an eye on them, why they're allowed to be out in the public with these people. We talked about when Kaepernick was in Vegas, right, a few weeks ago. He was in Vegas partying. Why is he letting his picture be taken? This shouldn't happen. And now this girl is alleging something happened, and we don't know. We don't know if the girl is out to get him because he's calling Kaepernick like we see so often, or if the guy was drunk and taking advantage of girls. How do we know, right? I mean, you're hoping it's not true.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like them to come back next season and play for my
He's on your fantasy team.
He's on my He's my starter. Also,
selfish reasons. As you wear a Seahawks shirt, you want Kaepernick to be cleared of any wrongdoing. That's a little weird,
I would
right?
like him to be back. But I mean, this is bad. This is a bad thing to go away for. You don't want to be investigated for something to do with a girl and rape. It's a bad thing. Bad things happen. Unlike Gronk, I don't know if you've seen Gronk put out a video. I think today or the other day, he produced a video of a whole bunch of dudes just running around having a good time over here, right in my backyard. Gronk was here with a whole bunch of other receivers, Danny Amendola, just running up and down Runyon Canyon.
In your backyard?
In my backyard. Basically in my backyard.
What were they doing? They were just running around, filming it?
I think it was a promo for GoPro because they all had GoPros. So they were just running around. It's kind of cool. It was fun to see.
Gronk's been out of the spotlight all summer. You'd think he'd want to jump back in it, right?
Well, I'm sure he's trying to work. I want him to come back and play. He's been out for too long. It's like we missed him all last season. It wasn't enough.
We missed Gronk. Brady went from 2 tight ends to no tight ends. That was a rough year.
It was a rough year. Also, last week, this happened. ESPN's Tony Reali was named Good Morning America's contributor in a new deal with ABC. So he's moving his show to New York, still doing his show on ESPN, and now going to be do something on good.
He's going to do the social square, Mike. All these TV networks are all about the social media now, right? They're all pushing it. A little late, but at least they're on board now.
Yeah, but I think they're trying to make it into a real thing, and this social thing is very it's digital. It's not really we're just going to be in this box and touch screens and be like, this is what they're talking about on the internet.
Right, but you have to find a way to get it on the air because of how popular it is. And Tony Reali is a perfect guy. He's 30 years old. He's been on ESPN for 6 or 7 years now. He's been hosting Around the Horn for seems like a long time. So all the columnists on his show, they're all via satellite, so they don't have to move anywhere.
True.
He just moves to New York, and he won't be on PTI. He won't be Stat Boy anymore. That's how he started. On Pardon the Interruption. Stat Boy. And we talked a few weeks ago about Strahan joining GMA and now Tony Reali because your boy Josh Elliott left to go to NBC Sports, so they need a little testosterone on the show.
They do. They need to bring a lot in. They need to man that show up.
So, I'm not watching that show. You're not watching that show. Nope. I guess it's women. Women watch the show.
He's a good-looking guy.
He's a good-looking guy, young guy. Yep. Just like Strahan, bring him on for that reason.
I like it. Also, last week, the Rams put out I don't know if this is really a challenge, but a gamble, I guess. They said if you can predict the exact schedule for the 2014-15 season exactly right, days, what time, like, is it the Sunday game, Monday game, who are they playing, is it away, is it home, $100,000 if you could guess it right.
I mean,
I submitted my picks.
Do we know the odds of this happening? It's got to be something like the March Madness bracket.
It's insane. It's like 93 trillion. It's up there, just like the March Madness bracket.
So it's not going to happen. But the good thing is they're giving away a certain amount of money, even if you don't guess the whole schedule. Even the person who's closest to it will still get a bunch of money, which is good on them.
I think they're getting season tickets. I think they get season tickets, which is nothing. And especially if you don't even live in St. Louis, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't do much for you unless they move back to LA, right?
Yeah. Hopefully somebody moves back.
Speaking of the Rams, I want to talk about the NFL draft for a second.
Okay.
We're less than 3 weeks away, which is good. Finally, it's almost here.
Yep.
We're at the end of April, but the draft still hasn't happened. Normally, it would have already happened by now. The Rams picked second in the NFL draft. The Texans picked first. I'm hearing a lot of people say there's no way the Texans are going to pass on Clowney at this point. There's just no chance that Clowney is going to get by them.
Okay.
Which means a quarterback isn't going, which means the Texans are not going to take a quarterback, which they desperately need. I'm just not sure about this.
So what are you saying to me, Jeremy? Are you saying that they're making a bad? Are you telling the Texans, Jeremy Garrison thinks the Texans are making a bad move, not taking a quarterback who might not be that good? Like, do you want to take Johnny Manziel or your boy from UCF?
I think Bortles is going to be good. I think Manziel is going to be good. I think they're both going to be good.
Are they a number one pick, though? Do you want to take that? Like, I feel people talk about Clowney like he's the next coming of Jesus or something on the football field. So
I don't think they're as good as Clowney. I don't think so. I mean, Clowney is a physical beast. We've known that since he was in college 2 or 3 years ago. I think the Texans have to pick him. I think that's what teams are saying. Mm-hmm. My point is the Texans have not decided who they're taking yet. And everyone else is telling them they'd be stupid to pass on Clowney, but they may not take Clowney. So this could go down as what were the Texans thinking when they passed on.
So, all right, tell me this. You've been watching the draft a lot longer than I have. I haven't really gotten into the draft days. What would you have to do to get, say you were the Rams, what would you have to do to get the number one pick? Or vice versa, trading down to get the number two? Because most likely it's almost like, why waste the first pick? You might as well get something if you know that guy's going to be there second or third overall, get some value.
I mean, you give up like a 4th or 5th round pick to move up one spot. You're not going to give up much more than that, right? Yeah. And the Texans should be shopping it. If they don't want Clowney, other teams do. Other teams especially do. The Texans need a quarterback. They can drop down to 4 or 5 and take one, you would think.
Well, what I'm hoping is the Browns end up getting Johnny Manziel. But then it seems like, well, if St. Louis goes number 2, most likely they're going to have to take a quarterback because Sam Bradford is not going to keep him in the game. I mean, he's terrible. Like
Sam Bradford is terrible.
The old man who stepped in last year, I don't even know who he is. He was 10 times better than Sam Bradford.
The old man at quarterback in St. Louis.
There's an old guy that stepped in, right? Like Sam Bradford.
I don't know. Sam Bradford, I am not a fan. He is, someone put it one time, it was great. It was Mark Sanchez of Middle America. And that's what Sam Bradford is. He's just meddling around in St. Louis, and he doesn't suck enough to get benched, but he's not good enough for anyone to praise him.
That's true.
And he's just there, and he's not a franchise quarterback. I think they should take a quarterback, too. They're not taking a quarterback. By all accounts, they're taking either a wide receiver or an offensive tackle. The Rams.
Also, talking about sports, Jeremy. Stanley Cup playoff and NBA playoffs have started.
Yes.
Now, I've been watching the Stanley Cup. I've been gambling. I called you. You were mid-hospital, like out of the hospital. I called you, asked you who I should gamble on. Have you been watching any of the hockey since? I mean, I know you saw the stats, and obviously our parlay didn't follow through that day.
Yeah, I know we didn't win a parlay, so nice job, hockey expert, on that. The Lightning just keep losing games.
They're really bad.
They're a real mess. I have not been watching much hockey. Watch a little bit. I watch a little bit of basketball playoffs. What I will say is a lot of people are saying this is the best time of year for sports, and that I just do not understand. Because if you're a basketball fan and you're a hockey fan, I get it. 2 playoffs going on at once, but to me, there's no way it's better than NFL, college football season. And I don't think it's better than March Madness games with all the buzzer beaters either, really.
I mean, I like this time of year because it's warm out. You can go to an outside bar, watch you can watch a Stanley Cup playoff game and an NBA game same time at a bar, hang out. During the winter, it's a little cold. Not everybody's out and enjoying life as much. Yeah. Here, it's nice. I mean, now, I don't know. The LA Kings aren't looking too good. They might not continue on much further, so it might not. Not a lot of people might be out at the bars here celebrating. But I like it. I mean, I think this is a good time of year. I would put it comparable to – this is better than Super Bowl because this is like 2 months of games that matter. So it's almost like the football season condensed for the playoffs.
Yeah, it lasts so much longer. Like the finals, the NHL Stanley Cup finals won't be till the end of May, beginning of June.
Like mid-June they'll be done.
NBA finals are at the end of June. So there's a long time to go here. It's a great time. There's games every night, which I can understand if you're into hockey and basketball, which so many of our viewers are. just maybe not me. I mean, Kevin Durant hit a buzzer beater last night, and then you got hockey games going on. You got a lot going on. I'm into that. Mm-hmm. It's not as good as football. It's just not.
I would say this is comparable to a football season. That the whole entire NBA and NHL season doesn't matter, but when you come to these 2 months, it's just like the few months of NFL. Like every game matters, and you watch it because it matters. Right. I like it. You got anything else for us, Jeremy? I have one story left. We didn't really prepare. We've been injured.
Well, it's our first show back. We've had some injuries. We got to ease back in. You can't just jump in full bore. We're giving the people what they want, which is more. Wait.
We didn't talk about the Masters. That's what I wanted to talk about.
I'm surprised. You want to talk about the Masters?
Listen, Jeremy, I sent you that long sheet of people I bet on.
You did.
None of them hit. 15 guys.
You were close to your 50-year-old Miguel Angel Jimenez. You would have won like $200 if he would have won, which was close. He was in the mix. I think he finished fourth.
He was, but Bubba.
So Bubba Watson won his second Masters. Left-hander. Left-handers have an advantage at that course, which is weird to think about, Mike. So maybe one day you'll wear a green jacket.
I mean, can I get back? Can I get into golf? Is that something where I can just all of a sudden be like, you know what? I'm going to be a pro golfer and one day play at the Masters. Can I just? 5 years from now, can I be competitive golfer?
Yes, you can. 5 years, you can win the Masters.
Wow.
No, there's no chance. Bubba Watson started when he was a little child.
I don't care.
Started when little kids. Right. You can be as good as I am shooting in the mid-80s and dropping some birdies and bogeys. You can do that. But you can't go win the Masters just because you're left-handed. It takes so much more skill than that. What? Story of the Masters, though, the takeaway, not only your 50-year-old Jimenez, who's done really awesome lately, the 20-year-old Jordan Spieth, 20 years old, so composed, so impressive. He holed out a bunker shot in the final round of the Masters. Would have been remembered as one of the best shots in golf history. Wow. If he would have won the event. Didn't quite happen for him. He didn't make any mistakes at the back. He just didn't make any birdies either, so he got second place. Bright future, 20 years old, Mike. That's like so much younger than us. It's scary.
Were you even thinking about being at the Masters at 20, Jeremy? Would you ever think like, wow, 20 years old, getting sponsors, Nike coming to you with millions of dollars?
No, I wasn't.
Some guy bet $1,600 on Rory McIlroy to win the Masters after seeing his face in a pastry. That was my one for the honeys for today's show.
$1,600 after you saw his face in the pastry.
You probably win a couple. You win like, I don't know the odds, but I'm guessing over $100,000.
So I saw that picture of him in a pastry, and it's really not what you think it is.
Sometimes people get a little crazy when they're,
Every time it's in a pastry or a grilled cheese or in the clouds, it's never what you think. As much as you want it to be, it never, ever is. And people are out there, and there's a lot of unique people that have ideas, and they're probably nuts like this person. And you spent $1,600, which is odd because I also bet on Rory to win the Masters, but I didn't put $1,600 on it.
Yeah. Did you think Bubba was going to win? What were his odds? I forgot what his odds were.
Well, got good odds. It's the second win. He won 2 years ago, so his odds were up there. He's in the top 5. I had Jordan Spieth at second in my pool, and he got second, so I actually won $20 on the Masters.
How much did you put total into the pool?
10,
okay.
And I won 20.
All right, that's nice.
Third place in my pool. But I picked Rory to win. You never know with golf. It's so hard to bet on golf because it's like you don't know how the guy's going to play that day. Like me and you, we can go out there, we can play well, play bad. The same thing for those guys. They never know how it's going to come out. You never do.
That's true. I mean, when I go out there, I never know what's going to happen.
I mean, a football player, Tom Brady, he's going to throw a spiral to Danny Amendola, right? He's going to hit him. He's going to hit him over there. He might win, he might lose. It's going to happen. You don't know if Tiger's going to hit a straight shot or a crooked shot. You never know.
So, are we going to see Tiger next year? Is this something that we should look forward to, or
He may never see him again.
Never again?
I mean, he's old. Maybe you'll see him on the Champions Tour, the Old Man
Just gonna
Tour.
go to like ESPN and host or something? Is this?
I don't think he'll ever be part of the media. Come on. He hates the media. He's not a talker.
All right. If you want to check out more shows, go to youtube.com/The Sports Hangover, patreon.com/The Sports Hangover. Support our show. Help us grow. Also, at TSH Podcast. Jeremy's tweeting all the time because he can't actively do anything right now. So
It's true.
he's home. He's bedridden.
It's a sedentary lifestyle. I've seen better days.
All right. If we don't molested, arrested, or abused, we'll be back next time.